It's all right! I'm back! I'm all right!
We wanted a director who embraced this vision of a classic retelling of the book. We'd met with a lot of directors who had years and years of movies under their belts. We had coffee with Andrew, and you know how these meetings usually go that you're interviewing someone to see if you like them, if you're gonna trust them with this baby, and this movie was everything to us, so we were so careful about who we were gonna meet with and who we were gonna talk to. Well, we sat down with Andrew, and Andrew interviewed us. Andrew wanted to know everything about what kind of movie we wanted to make, and he'd heard before that there were some other versions of this that he probably wouldn't be interested in directing. Some modernized versions of it, or things that had some humor that probably wouldn't be appropriate for a movie like this. The story appeals to the child in all of us, and it was written for children. It's from 4 children's point of view. What would happen if you yourself were in this crazy fantasy world and you actually had the power to do something? It unlocks this imagination in a kid, and we can all remember that time when you're completely innocent, when your mind can go everywhere, when you can dream of anything. And this is a book that actually unlocks that. And so Andrew was the only person we talked to who could kind of boil it down to that kernel of what makes it so special, what makes it so unique, what makes it timeless, a story forever.
Susan's right, Lucy. That's enough.
We were creating a family for 4 children. We had to have the set be a family for these 4 children, and these 4 kids from completely different childhoods formed a family of their own, and I really felt like part of that family. I felt like the surrogate father. Sometimes I'd have to be a disciplinarian, other times I'd have to be nurturing, you know, whatever the kids needed for their performance.
Lucy's quite popular in the story because she's the youngest of the 4 Pevensies, and nobody actually takes her points and her opinions seriously. She said goodbye to her mum at the train station. She's been driven away from her mum, her dad, and she just wants to just let out her feelings.
One of the wonderful things about adapting these books as a filmmaker is that C.S. Lewis left a lot up to the imagination. So it meant that I could develop ideas and play with ideas and draw from my own imagination.
Normally the wardrobe has 2 doors, and you think, well, the coats are, you know, lined up across the wardrobe. Well, we talked about this, and Andrew said 1 door, and the coats go away from us in 2 rows. Now we can make our way through the coats, you know, and we can cheat the depth of the wardrobe. In the room, the wardrobe appears this deep. Then we cheat it for the scene of going through, so we make it 6 foot deep. It makes a lot more sense. There's only 1 door into Narnia.
Hope you're not afraid of the dark. Lucy? Edmund follows her, and then he goes into the wardrobe. They blindfolded me, and then I know they took me and they led me and they carried me down to where my first position was. And then when I fell, and I just opened my eyes and I looked up, and it was amazing. It was like all white everywhere, trees, and I could have sworn it was real snow, except it wasn't wet.
Here is a major design challenge for the film. First and foremost, we have to have the snow and the trees. So we need to create that in the studio. In New Zealand, there's a huge tree farming industry, so we don't have to cut down beautiful trees. We just go to tree farms where they're going to be harvested and cut down anyway. Each tree had to be lowered into holes dug in the ground, supported, and 200 or 300 trees were brought in. And then our snow, we searched for the right product of the snow. These products are made basically from paper. Different textures and sizes of snow which you can use in different ways for falling snow or snow on the ground. And we did a lot of tests on this. Even with the footprints, you have to get them right.
Roger Ford is so full of heart.
and he just made this magical forest. It really was extraordinary, and it was very peculiar to stand there in the snow and not be cold.